Not every form fill is a lead. I think most marketers will hear that and nod their heads, but then they go ahead and treat every form submission like gold. And that's when things fall apart and often separates good marketers from the bad ones. So in this video, we're going to set the record straight on what a lead actually is and why nailing that definition matters for many companies that are seeking revenue growth. So what is a lead? I think most people know the answer to this one. A lead is simply a person or business that has shown some kind of potential interest in your product or service. That's it, it's pretty simple. So then, what defines or who qualifies as a lead? This is what I get asked a lot more from my clients, and it's not always easy to answer because it depends on many factors. For example, how did you find them? Did they subscribe to your newsletter, or did they download an ebook? Did they fill out one of your LinkedIn ads, or did you meet them at an event? Right away, you could probably tell that by definition, all of these people are leads, but the quality of these leads will vastly differ. And then we'll also need to consider, was it an inbound or outbound? Did they come to you, or did you reach out to them? MQL versus SQL. Did marketing think they were a good fit, or did sales agree and that they were worth pursuing? This one's really important, so we'll probably come back to it later or in future videos. And then cold outreach versus warm referral. One is completely a stranger to you, the other one already knows who you are and may have been referred by a previous client. To make this more real, let's run a quick exercise. Let's take these 5 types of lead sources and discuss whether they are a high quality or low quality lead. The first one's cold email. Even within cold email, it'll differ between open and response, and it'll even differ depending on what you're sending them through that cold email. So if they open, say, 2 or 3 emails, are they a good lead or a bad lead? It's hard to tell, but especially if it's a cold email and they're just opening these cold emails, unless maybe it hits like 5 or 6 opens, they might be still kind of considered as a lower quality lead. Whereas if they respond, they're showing genuine interest, well then you might rank them higher up on that ranking list. Paid ads. If they click on a paid ad, that's probably not signaling much, and you might not even have their information. But if they submit a form, now you need to determine, okay, what was the contents of that ad? Were they looking to request a demo? Then they are highly interested and they probably want to learn more about you. But if it's just, say, a free ebook that they needed to get some information out of, then they're probably a lower quality lead. If it's a demo request from your website, this one's pretty straightforward. They're raising their hand and they want to know more about your product or service. So this one is definitely one of those higher quality leads. And then a blog reader who left a comment. So this one we probably know is a pretty low ranking lead. And then someone who messaged your team on LinkedIn. So again, it's another inbound one where they're looking to speak with you. So this one is probably a little bit higher than that middle ground. Okay, so then what are the main things to consider? Well, I believe there's 4 main factors. The first is intent. Is this group simply interested in your content? They like what you're talking about? Are they hanging around for freebies? Perhaps it's a competitor trying to just get more information on you, or are they someone that's actually looking to buy? The second one is readiness or timing. Some people might be the right buyers, they're the right fit and are interested, but they just aren't ready to take action at that moment. This is why it's important to always be there and stay top of mind for them through something like an email nurturing sequence or Google display ads, so you're constantly top of mind and they know where to find you. The third one is fit. How good of a fit are they for your product? Do they have the budget and are they worth pursuing? Do they live in the area you service, or is there a language barrier? These are just some things that you might be considering. The last one is engagement. Are they actively engaging with your content? Have they read any of your emails? Are they checking out your website? Have they commented on one of your social posts? These things are measurables that you need to take note of to be able to gauge their interest in whether they're looking to buy or not. When you combine these factors, you're effectively able to rank your leads, so you aren't just sending any contact info to your sales team, which brings us to the next section. Unfortunately for marketers, our success is tied to one thing, and that's whether the sales team can close the lead. So even if a lead checks every box on our marketing checklist, they're the perfect persona, they downloaded the right content, they engage with say 5 emails, but if the sales team can't work with them, then they're not a good lead. And this could happen for many reasons. Maybe the lead looked good on paper but stalled in conversion process. Maybe they weren't actually the decision maker. Maybe the timing was way off. These are just some of the things that often don't show up in marketing data, but sales will find out as they dig deeper through conversations. That's why it's really critical to work closely with the sales team. They're on the front lines and often have some of the most valuable insights. For example, who's actually closing? Who always seems interested but never buys? What traits or actions seem to show up in every high converting lead? These conversations are the key to sharpening your qualification criteria. And even more important to know is that they're not one and done, set and forget. Lead definitions should evolve over time, and as your audience shifts, your product grows, or your market changes, your definition of a good lead will need to adapt as well. Which brings us to the next part. If leads live on a constantly changing spectrum, how do we sort the high value ones from the rest? And that's exactly what I'll cover in the next video on lead scoring. If you have any questions on defining what a lead is or being able to qualify someone as a lead, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one.